Welcome back to Captain of Industry. This is update 4.1, and beside a lot of quality of life upgrades, we also got introduced to train networks. And this new system isn't easy to understand, and I think a lot of you do have some problems or will have some problems with it. I did a lot of testing, as you can see. It's working for me now, and today I just want to build such a advanced train network system with you together, and we'll see if I can teach you something maybe. Basically, the system works very similar to how we are used to with trucks. You can request loads to be delivered. You can set the storages or your train station so that trains will take resources out of it if above a certain level, and then the trains that are assigned to a network will be assigned dynamically to the jobs that are free. So you can have a lot of trains, just like I do have here, with some loose wagons, but they can transport copper, they can transport iron. You're not limited. Every time a train is not assigned to anything, he will go into a waiting bay, and he will stay there until it's needed. Once it's needed, he will get a job, and he will leave the waiting bay area, and he will return to work. The system absolutely does make stuff easier and brings some new possibilities. Of course, you can always just play the game like you did up to now, because the old system with lines still is here. We can still use it. We just now got the second type of the second way of transporting stuff with trains. And I think it's absolutely amazing. So let's get started to build such a network. Before we actually start building the network itself, we have to do some thinking. Because, as you maybe know, trains, they aren't all the same length. If we look at one of this locomotive, for example, it's 5 tiles. If we take the tier 2 locomotive, it's 10 tiles. You got a lot of different locomotives. Actually, also here I have the DLC loaded. So if you don't have the DLC, you basically can do everything the same. You just won't have all the options. For example, this one is also the second DLC, the supporter DLC. And as you can see, this one is the smallest locomotive with a width of 3 tiles, while some longer locomotives, this should be a diesel, then we have the hydrogen, the tier 2 hydrogen locomotive, we do have the fuel gas locomotive with the tender, and we do have, for example, the nuclear train, which is 25 tiles long. Now, what we also need to understand to design our system is that one station is exactly 5 tiles long, which is also the same length as one of the small wagons is gonna be. The tier 2 wagons are the same length as 2 station modules, so they are 10 tiles long. There's an exception for the modules, which are all 5 tiles, as you can see, which is the molten station. So if you want to transport molten materials, there's only the tier 2 wagon for molten material, and you can transport all those molten materials, but it's 10 tiles long. Same goes with the fueling station for uranium. Now, you absolutely don't have to have the same amount of modules as you have locomotives or wagons. We'll see that in a second. Let's first decide on what kind of trains we want to run in our network. Because if we want to run a very long trains, basically every station that this train is going to go has to fit this train. It doesn't have to have all the modules of the train, as we will see in a second, but we need to think what is the biggest train in our network. You can always have shorter trains, in most of the cases, But you cannot really have longer trains or it will break your system. So for me, I will go, for this demonstration, I will go with 1 hydrogen locomotive 2 as well as 4 hopper wagons 2. So we will have a total length of 50 tiles, namely 10 from the locomotive and 4 times 10 for the wagons. Now let's check this out. So we will have our locomotive. And we will also have, let's see if I can build this. And let's actually get rid of this surface here. And we will have, can we copy? And let's ignore those. And we will have 1, 2, 3, 4 wagons. So this is actually going to be our train length. Now I will keep this length as like a measuring tool here to measure for later. Now, if we want to unload stuff, every station we want to have basically needs to be this long. It doesn't have to have all those modules. So what I will do actually is I will look at this and I will be like, well, let's think, well, we will have loose modules. So let's take a loose station. And every station, if we look at this, every station needs to have a train station. So we will put this one somewhere for now. And if we would want to have stations or modules for every wagon, that would be 1, 2, 3. So that would be, you sadly cannot do this. So that would be 1 large wagon, 2 large wagon, 3 large wagon, and a 4th one. So that should fit 1, 2, 3, 4 large wagons plus our locomotive. It will go here. Now you can set up special fueling stations, but you could also, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do separate fueling stations. But you can also put, for example, a liquid one here. You can also put it here. It actually doesn't really matter. Now, we do have space for all those modules. So that would be 1 large train. But what we actually can do to save some modules, we can put some empty ones in here. Now, what this does, you can click and drag with the new update. Really nice quality of life. And what this does, the train will come in. It will unload its first 2 wagons here. Then it will drive forward and unload the second 2 wagons. It will drive forward again, unload the third. So we basically just pay with workers and electricity for only 2 modules instead of all of them. This saves a lot of space or a lot of materials. It also costs a lot less because those modules, they are quite expensive. Or at least if you have long trains that need lots of them. Okay, it's actually those loose 30. Yeah, as you can see, 30. Now, the train station does look a little different than we're maybe used to, but we'll come to this in a second. Same goes with fueling. We would have hydrogen in here. Now, we are not going to do this, but we want to still have space for our locomotive to sit in there. So basically, this would be a station like we want it. Okay, we can add more modules to unload faster or slower, as I will show you in a second, but that is our station. Now, let's set a little railway up like you would maybe do that, you would have maybe done that so far. Now, as you maybe already saw, I prepared some rail parts. I really advise you to do this too, because it's a pain to lay down all those tracks. So what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to take you, because that's going to be our module, or basically our train needs to go until here. So if it's all the way in the station, the locomotive will be here and the train is going to go until here. So from here on, we can actually do anything really. We can set up, for example, a crossing like this, and then we could put down, let's actually not use the large, did I use the large crossings? Yes, I did use the large ones. Let's actually not do that. Of course, the radius of the curves will decide how fast your trains can go. So for now, let's just take one of those. So it can go here or it can go here. And then how do we actually get trains in here? Well, you probably will just go like this. And also maybe you have noticed that I'm driving on the left side. So that will actually not work what I did here. So we'll have to flip this and do something like this. Now let's see if that works. Train tracks, as you can see now, this should work. Let's actually set the direction. So that is not ideal, because if you can do this if you have all the modules here. But what it does now is the train comes in, it will stop basically with the locomotive here and load or unload the first two wagons, but the rest of the train is gonna stay in the crossing here. So what are we doing here? We just take this and we bring it over to this side. Okay, so now the locomotive will stay here and the train is here. Now that works, but we now need, maybe let's actually put it back a little bit more, just to be safe with the crossing there, because we do have a no stop area from here. So yeah, we want to be able to stop in front of the train. Now the trains will come on the left side, which is normal for where I live here. It will go here. And now, as you can see, we'll have to turn around here. I made a very nice blueprint for this. Let's actually, I will show you something else. So let's actually use, nope, let's not use this one. Let's use this one. Okay, something like this. So train will come in, it will go around, and it will unload the first two wagons, then second two, third two, fourth two, and then it will drive away again. Now, every block, so for trains, they will always, for example here, they will stand here and they will not drive into this no stop section, except if after the no stop section, they have enough space to actually stop there. So if we take this, so this is longer than our longest train. If we put this here, now, if we look at this, the train can go into the crossing and he can stop here. So he will actually be able to do that. If it's only short and then the next crossing, then that won't be possible. So now let's take, for example, this crossing here, because we actually need to get a depot in our system. Something like this. So train could go in here, or the train could come out of the rail depot on this track, and it will go here. It will, for example, load. And then we want to also be able to unload somewhere. So let's put down some more track to actually be able to show you this, like this and like this. And then we'll put down another crossing here. I will just take, yeah, let's just take this one. So we can add some more rails if we want. Now again, if we look at the no stopping areas, the train, if he wants to go here, he will look, can I park here? Yes, I can, so I will go over the crossing. That's really important. If we want to have another crossing in here, this block as well as this block will need to be long enough for our longest train. Really important if you design railroads. So that's actually also how it works in real life. So let's actually now take this thing and let's just copy it over, basically. Because we want to have a loading and an unloading station, I will show you how to configure that. So we'll actually put this here. And now let's actually build this and let's set these stations up. So now this one will be our loading. I will call it loading. And now there's a lot of different things here. So if you're just using normal lines, you would set up things here. You would go in here. That's how it works so far. You would go in here. You would maybe call this, well, this is some gold. Okay, you would call this gold. That's how it worked so far. You would add a stop. You would say, go here, load until, and then go here and unload. Okay, that's how it works so far. Now we would have to set up everything, but we're not going to do that today. So we will actually look at the network tab here. Now, it's less information. So there's a few different things. There's train limit. So basically the station, let's put a storage here. And we can tell you your gold. Where is gold? And we'll just tell you to be always full. That's creative, but yeah, just imagine we have a mine here. Now this train or this station has this one connected. So this station knows, oh, I don't only have just what would fit into those modules. I actually have access to all of this. So these are connected. So you can see those 300 plus those 240 plus those 240. That's what the station got. Now maybe this is coming from another place too. And that's a really cool feature in the new update. So let's maybe this is like this, and we'll have some belts coming in. I will not make this pretty right now. Okay, so we'll have some belts coming in, and now the system knows. Let's actually take away always full. Let's do something like this. Let's actually connect more belts. Doesn't really matter. But what matters is that he still thinks I got access to this one, 3000 plus those two. That's what he got access now. What you can do here, you can connect additional storages like this one. And now he also knows that he has access to this one. So if a train requests 5000, he won't go here, because he can't fully load 5,000. Of course, 5,000 is a lot. But if we add this one, he now is able to get 5,000. So he will go here. Or if you have trains with 1,000 capacity, this station could request, like this, could request 5 or 6 trains to come get gold. Now, do we want to have 6 trains coming here and get gold, for example? No, not really, because we will have 1 train, maybe 2 trains, 3 trains, 4 trains, and the 5th one will stand in the middle of this crossing where trains do want to pass. So that's what the train limit is for. For example, we can say at maximum you can only request 3 trains. So 1 train, 2 trains, 3 trains. So we will still have some space here, and this will not get clogged. So that's how you control how many trains can be requested or sent to a station. Really important. Priority, same as with trucks. If we have 2 stations that have gold, and we set this one to 1 or to 2, the trains will go here first to load and then take the other one. For example, really useful if you want to prioritize Slack over, for example, Slack from something else. Okay, good. So this is set up. Okay, now we need this one. No, it's not set up because you're gold and you, well, it is. Okay, load gold and everything set up. You can also see if trains are currently heading to the station. We don't have trains yet, so that won't happen. Now we will have the station unload. It will unload gold. And now we also want to have a limit on here. Maybe I think a good limit would also be 3 here. Because 1 train, 2 trains, 3 trains, maybe we could even put a 4th one, but I'm scared it's gonna be on this crossing. There's also something wrong with this here. Let's actually connect that up and Let's see, that should work now. Okay. And you will go in here, for example. Let's actually copy you over. So it will put the gold in here. Now that's gold. And all connected storages, even if you do this, will go towards this. Let's see. Will go towards this. Did I? Yeah, I turned them the wrong way, so that won't work. Let's do this, and let's copy this over, so they will go in there. And maybe I can get it. Yeah. Okay, like this. Every connected storage, every directly connected storage automatically counts towards this part. So this station with all connected storage can hold 6,480 gold. If we now tell this, please fill all of it up, it will try to get 6,480 gold. Now again, if we have a few consumers here, and we want to make sure that all of them always will have stuff, we could even do something like this, and we could say, let's also count these, please. So now this station does have 12,000 capacity, okay? We want to have this full for now. Now that we have finished setting up our infrastructure for a very, very basic transfer of materials, the same as you could have done with the old system, we want to add a network, and I will call it aggregates. Aggregates, because it will not only transport gold. And we do have cargo stations, fuel stations, and waiting bays. For now, we only build cargo stations, so let's assign them. You can do this here. And let's assign both of them. So we have loading assigned, which sends off gold, and unloading, which requests gold. Okay, so that's the basics. So now what is missing? Well, trains. Let's build a new train, and we said when planning the size of our infrastructure, we said we are gonna go with 1 hydrogen locomotive, 2 and 4 hopper wagons. So let's build this. And if we start time again, it should, as soon as we assign it to our line, it should come out here, and it should go to our, let's actually do this like this. It should go to one of our stations, and it will go, if we speed up the game a little here, what did it do? No line. Okay. Where are you going? Okay, so you're assigned to this one. Yes. So it will drive to this system, to this loading area, and it should load gold. Because this one is actually requesting gold, so he got a job. So he goes loading, and as you can see, it's job part 1 of 2. So he goes here, he loads the first wagon. Now this takes a while because I will show you with more. So he will drive forward, and as you can see, now it fills the whole station just as we planned it. So this is really important. You have to think about this. If you're not having all the modules, you have to have the space. So this locomotive isn't standing on this rail here. So then it goes over and it fulfills this rule. He wants to have stuff here. As you can see, that happens, and this train will do that forever. Now, we will have some problems if we just do this. Basically, that's an old system, so let's build some more trains. Maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. Now, do you remember how we set train limit of 3? Let's put this down to maybe 2. Now, we do have a lot of trains in the system here. Let's put this to 2, and this is already on 2. So let's put this to 2. Do you see how we have a lot of trains, which even with the right line, they will bring an error. No waiting bay available. Basically, there's already 2 trains at this station, and there's no other jobs in the whole system. In the whole network, There's no other request or nothing else they can do. So they don't have anything to do. So they want to go into a waiting bay. As the name suggests, the trains can wait there to get commands. Okay, so let's build such a waiting bay. We will start. Again, I already did some work here. We said this is our maximum train length. And our waiting bay, which I designed like this, there's a lot of ways, does have space for one of those trains. So that's perfect. Now a waiting bay also has to have a waypoint. I like to use waypoints. You can also use stations, I think, but I like to use waypoints because why not? Why don't save space? Okay, and they have to have waypoints. Now again, here I set a train limit of 1 because on this part of the track, if we look at this, until here is no stop, and on this part we can only have 1 train. I could also use something like this for our trains and put all the train limits to 2. I'm not going to do that because why should I? I will just go with one of those smaller ones. Now we already have 6 trains on our system, so let's maybe use a little bigger one like this one. Where do we want to put it? I think we're just going to put it here, right? That could work. So the trains come in and they can go wait. Now, we also want to connect this back up. I also prepared some parts for that, namely this one, which makes a parallel track here, or should at least. And then we can connect this one here. And if this is connecting, which it isn't, let's take it back a little. If this is connecting, hello, can we not get this built like this, something like this, and also the direction of this train is a little weird, so let's turn it around and let's bring this here. So let's unpause this and let's connect this up. So we do have a waiting bay now, and if we build this, we do have the waiting bay built. Now to actually we need to tell the trains that they can go there and wait there. So let's add all of them here like this. And as you will see, the trains that don't have anything to do, because, well, they don't have anything to do, they will go wait there. And they will wait until there's something to do. And if there's a job, as you will see in a second, as soon as this one goes, there will be an open job here, because you should still have some jobs done. Let's actually make you be empty. You be empty. Okay, now the system knows that we do have too slow loading. So let's actually, as soon as this train is gone, can we? No, we cannot. Okay, but as you can see, 2 trains will be enough. So those trains will never move. So that's good. Let's add some more. Let's add some more system in, or let's add some more things into our system here. Let's go with something like this. As you can see, there's still space for 1 full train in between this. So that is good. Let's actually do this, and let's go forward a little so we can add some more stuff to our train system we just built. Basically, that's the functionality already, but yeah, still. Okay, then let's add one of those there, because we want to add some more stations. Because for gold, maybe that's okay. We don't need that much gold. But let's take the unloading here. I will take the unloading station, and let's put it here. Something like this. Let's actually get rid of you for a second. That's probably the longest train I will ever build. Nuclear with like 16 wagons or something. Quite huge thing. And you will not be gold. You will be iron. And we need a lot of iron. So probably the throughput of 2 × 600 unload speed here won't be enough. I'm just saying that, by the way. I don't think you will actually need that much throughput. But yeah. So we will again just do this, and we could have used the... I need to learn that you can actually now drag things to build them. But yeah. Now actually we can now unload all the train cars at the same time, and with 4.1 actually those balance. So we can, as you will see in a second, unload the whole train at once. There is a limitation, as you will see. Let's also copy this one. Just like this maybe. Can we get you? And we'll build you here. Now we need to have space for the locomotive. We cannot forget that. That's really important. Something like this. And let's connect you up here. That should work. And you are not gold. You are iron. And you are iron too. And you will be iron, because we will load iron here. And we probably, again, we want to have some more loading capacity. As you will see, it's not the way you think. Even though they balance, there's a limit how much they can balance things. Now let's call it loading iron, for example, something like this. Now as you can also see, not part of any network. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to go into our network manager and not do a new one, but add you and add you to our network. And if I unpause now, you will see nothing, because we want to request a lot of iron. And as you then see, this train will go out of the waiting bay because he just got a job. And he will go and he will drive and he will get some iron here. Now we will look what happens here. As you will see, all of them get loaded at the same time. Seems good. Let's not have just one of those. Let's have some more of those unloading stations. Let's do one here. And this should also now be on our network. So let's add it. Very easy. As you can also see, they still have fuel, so that's not a problem. And as you will see now, they will request some more iron. So there should be more trains on their way. Let's actually also... They are going here. They should... Yeah, I again messed something up here, I think. So let's build that again. Yes, this one is still gold, so let's make it iron. And let's also copy this to those. And as you can now see, they will request a lot of iron again. And a lot of trains that are heading here. Now we said train limit is 2, but we can make the train limit 3. It's not a big problem. Let's make it 3. As you can see, all of our trains are now on their way. Now we can make more trains. We just have to keep in mind that there's a limit on how many trains cannot work. Because our waiting area is limited. So yeah, let's put 3 more trains in. And as you can see, this intersection will get quite busy. But they are bringing in a lot of iron. And now let's also make sure that we can have... Can we have 3? 1, 2, 3... 4 should be fine here. So let's do 4 here. And let's maybe... At this point we need more throughput. So let's actually add some more here. So because now the station is basically reserving everything it has. So let's add the size of the buffer. So more trains will actually be scheduled to go here. As you can see, a huge amount of ore. And as you can also see now, what happened here? It's not full. Okay. We also have another problem. I will come to this problem back in a second. We need fuel. So yeah, let's do a fueling station. That's also not that hard. So we will just put one of you in here, for example. Something like this. And then I think we also have to do like a little curve, something like this. And then we'll have our station here. Now for fueling, it doesn't really matter, but again, it is advised to have enough space for one of your full train on the, let's actually flip it and rotate it like this. Now we don't want to load anything, unload everything, but it's still advised to have enough modules there. You don't need to build them, but just keep the space. I will actually build them just to demonstrate. As you can see, there is no fuel here. And then we just basically go here again, connect this up. Now, of course, you could at every station just build a fueling thing. You could be like, well, hey, station, liquid fuel, and you could put this one in here when no train is here, and you could put hydrogen there. We will not do that. We will take this away. We'll say liquid fuel. And actually, again, we know that one of those wagons or the locomotive is 2 modules long. So let's actually try and see if we can put 2 modules in. There's something that is special. Those modules will not share fuel in between. I found that out, and it's confirmed by the devs. So yeah, don't try to share liquid or don't share fuel modules. Now we want to call this fuel, for example. This is, by the way, just a layout. I'm laying them out. You don't have to do it like this. And we do have hydrogen here. Hydrogen. And we want to have some hydrogen brought in by truck later or whatever. Something like this. Hydrogen. And we want to keep you full, just creative, or like this when you're using them in the real thing. Now, as you can see, the train is still not going here. It's they are not going to fuel. That's because the fuel station is not part of our network. If I add this one here, I will stop it. You can also say refuel when below a certain amount. Now, if you have very long distances, it's maybe good if you put it a little higher so they don't run out on their way, because they go painfully slow. So yeah, like this. As you can see, this one is now on 0 and it's very slow, but now they can actually, he will probably go unload, but as you can see, it's very slow. I'm playing this on 12x right now. Okay, so it's really slow, really not advised to do this. Okay, you don't want them to run out. All the other ones, for example this one, no, he does have enough fuel, so he will go unload. We can actually speed the game up a little more. And as you can see, they will go here and fuel up automatically once below the amount we specified here, the 35%. So that's what we're going to do. So now you've set up a fully working network. Now, of course, you can also expand this with different kinds of materials. You can have different train length. Then the system will just request or give the job to the train that has the, wait, let me tell you this correct. So it will take the train that has the smallest capacity that can still or it will have the largest, the train will have the largest capacity, which is still below what he wants to fulfill here. So if you have 1,000 demanded here, it will send a train out that is as large as possible but still below 1,000. That's a very complicated thing in my head, but I think I said it correctly. So you can have different length for different trains in the same system. I think in my playthrough I won't do that. And what I also won't do is liquid trains mixed with the aggregate trains. Just because I will have it separate, but you can put it in one system and it will perfectly fine. Now to this sharing problem here. As you can see, it's loading from the back to the front. Now, why is it doing that? There's some in here, but let's actually look at this. Can we? Yes, here. There's some stuff in the front here, but most of it is in here. That's because those modules, they transfer their contents, they balance themselves, but between each module, there's only a capacity of 400 per 60. So this belt is for 50. So basically between all of those modules is one of those belts. So yes, you don't need the complicated setup where so far with trains, can we, well, I can just copy this one for a second. For now, we always did this, then we took one of you, something like this. We took a balancer and we brought them in here like this. And then we said, well, you are gonna go here and you are also gonna go here. Now that won't work, but you know what I mean. And we'll connect all of it like this. And that was very weird, but you get the point. You connect it and then you say enforce strictly even outputs. This will have a input capacity into the train of 4 times 450. This here has the input capacity of 2 times 450 or 4 times, but the problem is there's a lot of capacity to go from here to here, but only 400 to go to here. So yes, you can do it without. It will unload everything at once, as you can see here. And for unloading, it's perfectly fine. At some point, you will have too many trains coming in. If we look at this, there's a lot of trains at this station. And if there's, for a while, there's no train, it's fine. It will load everything at once. But if there's too many trains coming in, you're probably better at doing something like this. And even something like this will help. Now I did do a mess, but you know what I mean. It will help to distribute them a little, or even do the balancer setup. There's a benefit in doing it. Yeah, I think that should be what you need to get your system up and running, your advanced train network up and running in your safe. Maybe also take a sandbox mode like I did here, and try it out. I hope you got something from this video. If you did, leave a like, please, so the algorithm will show it to more people. If you want to see more Captain of Industry content, other really cool games, please subscribe to this channel. Maybe check out Patreon, and we are gonna see each other in another video. Have a nice day. Bye.